To calculate the amperage on the 480-volt side of a transformer fed by a 208-volt panel, you can use the formula I for 180 equals 225 amps multiplied by the square root of 3 divided by 2, where I for 180 is the amperage on the 480-volt side. 225 amps is the total amperage on the 208-volt side, which is the highest phase current, and the square root of 3 is the conversion factor from phase to line current in a three-phase system. Plugging in the values, we get I for 180 equals 225 amps multiplied by the square root of 3 divided by 2, which equals 225 amps multiplied by 1.732 divided by 2, which equals 194.8 amps. Now let's discuss transformer breaker amperage. The 90 amp breaker that is used to protect the transformer is correctly sized. The formula for calculating the breaker amperage is breaker amps equals transformer kilovolt amps divided by line voltage multiplied by the square root of 3, where transformer kilovolt amps is the transformer rating, 75 kilovolt amps. Line voltage is the voltage on the primary side of the transformer, 480 volts, and the square root of 3 is the conversion factor from phase to line voltage. Plugging in the values, we get breaker amps equals 75 kilovolt amps divided by 480 volts multiplied by the square root of 3, which equals 75 kilovolt amps divided by 480 volts multiplied by 1.732, which equals 90 amps. Regarding current readings on the 480 volt panel, the current readings on the 480 volt panel should not be directly related to the current readings on the 208 volt panel. The transformer does not change the phase currents, but it does change the line currents and voltages. If access is available to a three-phase clamp meter, the line currents can be measured on the 480 volt side to verify that they align with a calculated amperage of 194.8 amps. In summary, to calculate the amperage on the high voltage side of a transformer given the amperage on the low voltage side, you use a formula that incorporates the square root of 3. This accounts for the phase to line current conversion in a three-phase system. The result gives you the approximate amperage you should expect to see on the higher voltage side. Breaker sizing for the transformer is crucial for protection. The calculation involves the transformer's kilovolt amp rating and the line voltage in the primary side. Using the square root of 3 again ensures accurate sizing for three-phase systems. Finally, remember that current readings on the primary and secondary sides of the transformer are not directly interchangeable due to the voltage transformation. Measuring the current on the primary side with a clamp meter is the best way to confirm your calculations and ensure proper system operation. It's important to understand the underlying principles of three-phase power and transformer operation to accurately calculate and measure currents in these systems. The square root of 3 factor arises from the phase relationships in a balanced three-phase system. When dealing with transformers, it's crucial to consider both the voltage and current transformation ratios to properly size breakers and conductors. Always consult the National Electrical Code, or NEC, for specific requirements and guidelines related to transformer installations. Here are a few key concepts to reinforce understanding. Firstly, three-phase power systems utilize 3 alternating currents that are offset by 120 degrees from each other. This configuration provides a more consistent power delivery compared to single-phase systems. Secondly, transformers are used to step up or step down voltage levels in electrical circuits. They operate based on the principle of electromagnetic induction. Thirdly, the kilovolt amp rating of a transformer represents its apparent power capacity. This is the product of voltage and current, and it's used to determine the transformer's ability to handle load. Fourthly, circuit breakers are overcurrent protection devices that are designed to interrupt the flow of current when it exceeds a safe level. They protect equipment and personnel from damage and injury. Fifthly, a clamp meter is a non-contact instrument used to measure the current flowing through a conductor. It's a valuable tool for troubleshooting and verifying electrical calculations. Here are some additional details to consider when working with transformers. Firstly, transformer impedance is an important factor to consider when sizing overcurrent protection devices. It limits the fault current that can flow through the transformer during a short circuit. Secondly, transformer inrush current is a high transient current that occurs when a transformer is initially energized. Overcurrent protection devices must be able to withstand this inrush current without tripping. Thirdly, transformer cooling methods vary depending on the size and application of the transformer. Common methods include air cooling, oil cooling, and forced air cooling. Fourthly, transformer connections can be either delta or Y. The type of connection affects the voltage and current relationships in the three-phase system. Fifthly, transformer efficiency is the ratio of output power to input power. It's a measure of how well the transformer converts electrical energy from one voltage level to another. Here are some more points to keep in mind. Firstly, the National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides detailed requirements for transformer installations, including overcurrent protection, grounding, and ventilation. Secondly, qualified electrical personnel should always perform transformer installations and maintenance. Working with high voltage equipment can be dangerous, and it requires specialized training and knowledge. Thirdly, regular inspections and maintenance are essential for ensuring the safe and reliable operation of transformers. This includes checking for leaks, corrosion, and overheating. Fourthly, proper grounding is critical for protecting equipment and personnel from electrical shock hazards. Transformers should be grounded in accordance with the NEC requirements. Fifthly, energy-efficient transformers can help reduce energy consumption and lower operating costs. Consider using energy-efficient transformers when replacing existing units. Some additional considerations are: firstly, when calculating the amperage on the 480-volt side from the 208-volt side, using the phase-to-line conversion factor derived from the square root of 3 accounts for the fundamental difference in how power is distributed across the three phases. Secondly, the transformer acts as an intermediary, and you're essentially working backwards from the load on the secondary side to determine the required current on the primary side to supply it at load. Thirdly, while the initial calculation provides a good estimate, actual measurements using a clamp meter are crucial to verify the real-world current draw under operating conditions. Fourthly, if the measured current deviates significantly from the calculated value, it might indicate an issue with the load, the transformer itself, or the supply voltage. Fifthly, always account for potential future load growth when sizing transformers and associated breakers to avoid the need for costly upgrades later. Some extra considerations might be: firstly, understanding the vector group of the transformer is important for parallel operation with other transformers, but it's not directly relevant for the single transformer amperage calculation. Secondly, harmonic currents, which are non-sinusoidal currents, can affect transformer performance and efficiency. If the load includes significant harmonic generating devices, consider using a K-rated transformer designed to withstand these currents. Thirdly, regularly monitor the transformer's temperature to detect potential overloading or cooling issues. Overheating can significantly reduce the transformer's lifespan. Fourthly, consider using a transformer with a higher kilovolt amp rating than the calculated load to provide a safety margin and improve reliability. Fifthly, ensure that the transformer is properly ventilated to prevent overheating and maintain optimal performance. Also, consider these points. Firstly, when applying the formula, ensure that the amperage value used from the 208-volt side is indeed the highest phase current, as that will dictate the maximum current drawn on the 480-volt side. Secondly, the calculated amperage on the 480-volt side represents the minimum current carrying capacity required for the conductors feeding the transformer on the primary side. Thirdly, depending on the specific application, additional factors like conductor dating due to ambient temperature or conduit fill might necessitate using larger conductors than initially calculated. Fourthly, the 90-amp breaker protects the transformer against overloads and short circuits, but it doesn't protect the load connected to the 208-volt panel. Separate overcurrent protection is required for the load. Fifthly, the transformer's nameplate provides valuable information about its voltage ratings, kilovolt amp rating, impedance, and other key specifications. Always refer to the nameplate when performing calculations or troubleshooting. And don't forget these points. Firstly, the formula assumes a balanced three-phase load on the 208-volt side. If the load is significantly unbalanced, the current on the 480 volt side will be different for each phase. Secondly, using a true RMS clamp meter is essential for accurately measuring current in circuits with non-sinusoidal waveforms. Ordinary clamp meters may not provide accurate readings in these situations. Thirdly, regularly inspect the transformer's bushings and connections for signs of damage or corrosion. Loose or corroded connections can cause overheating and voltage drop. Fourthly, consider using a surge arrestor to protect the transformer from voltage transients caused by lightning or switching surges. Fifthly, ensure that the transformer is installed in a location that is protected from physical damage and environmental hazard. Also, make note of these aspects. Firstly, the calculated amperage of 194.8 amps is a continuous load, and the overcurrent protection device must be sized accordingly. According to the National Electrical Code, the overcurrent protection device should be rated at not less than 125% of the continuous load. Secondly, the conductor ampacity must also be at least 125% of the continuous load. Therefore, the conductors feeding the transformer on the primary side must be sized to carry at least 194.8 amps multiplied by 1.25, which equals 243.5 amps. Thirdly, the grounding electrode conductor, or GEC, for the transformer must be sized in accordance with NEC Table 250.66, based on the size of the grounded conductors feeding the transformer. Fourthly, the equipment grounding conductor, or EG, for the transformer must be sized in accordance with NEC Table 250.122, based on the rating of the overcurrent protection device protecting the transformer. Fifthly, the location of the transformer must comply with all applicable NEC requirements, including those related to clearances, ventilation, and accessibility.